What if I told you that the greatest battle you'll ever fight won't be in the world around you, but in the silence of your own mind? Every thought, every doubt, every fear is a seed, and what you choose to nurture will shape your entire life. The mind, left unchecked, becomes a prison. But once mastered, it becomes your most powerful ally, unlocking peace, clarity, and unstoppable strength. You don't need to control the world to change your life. You just need to master your mind. The mind is a tool, perhaps the most powerful one you possess. But like any tool, its value depends entirely on how you use it. Most people go through life on autopilot, reacting impulsively to every situation, emotion, or challenge that comes their way. They are tossed around by fear, anger, jealousy, and desire, never pausing to realize that their suffering often comes not from what happens to them, but from how they think about what happens. The Stoic philosophers understood this with remarkable clarity. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple truth holds immense power. When you stop trying to control the external world and start mastering your internal world, everything begins to change. Mastering your mind means observing your thoughts without blindly obeying them. It means challenging your fears, questioning your assumptions, and refusing to be enslaved by emotion or impulse. It's not a one-time decision, but a daily discipline, like sharpening a blade or training a muscle. And as your mind grows stronger, calmer, and more focused, you begin to see life differently. Obstacles become opportunities, delays become lessons, and peace becomes your default, not your pursuit. This is where true power lies, not in changing the world, but in changing how you see it. Mastering your mind does not happen overnight. It is a slow, deliberate process that requires awareness, patience, and relentless practice. It begins with understanding that you are not your thoughts, you are the observer of those thoughts. The mind will constantly generate noise. Fears about the future, regrets from the past, comparisons, complaints, temptations, doubts, but you are not obligated to listen. You have the ability to step back, to question each thought and ask, is this useful? Is this true? Does this serve the person I want to become? The Stoics trained themselves to pause between stimulus and response, to create space where wisdom could intervene before impulse took over. In that space lies your power. Instead of reacting with anger, you can choose patience. Instead of feeding insecurity, you can cultivate confidence. Instead of chasing every distraction, you can return to what truly matters. This is what separates those who drift from those who lead themselves. Most people are slaves to their emotions, pulled in every direction by urges they never learned to understand. But when you commit to mental discipline, when you start each day with clarity, silence, and purpose, you take command of your life from the inside out. You stop being a passenger and start becoming the captain. And while the storms of life may still come, you will no longer be swept away by them. You will stand firm, not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. The world within you will have become calm, focused, and unshakable. And from that place, everything outside begins to change. To truly master your mind, you must first learn to sit with it, to face it honestly, without distraction or escape. In today's world, silence is rare, and solitude is avoided. We are constantly surrounded by noise, notifications, opinions, and entertainment, all designed to pull our attention outward and keep us from turning inward. But it is in those quiet, often uncomfortable moments, alone with our thoughts, that true transformation begins. The Stoics believed in daily self-reflection, not as a ritual, but as a necessity. They examined their behaviors, questioned their reactions, and held themselves accountable for the quality of their thoughts. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And it's a truth most people overlook. Our minds exaggerate fears, rehearse failures, and replay painful memories on a loop, keeping us trapped in a mental prison of our own design. But what if you could interrupt that cycle? What if you could choose your thoughts the way a sculptor chooses how to shape stone? That is the art of mental discipline. It means building habit of journaling, meditating, or simply sitting still and observing the chaos without judgment. It means recognizing native patterns and consciously replacing them with empowering ones. It means becoming fluent in the language of your own mind. learning to decode your emotions, calm your triggers, and shift your focus toward what uplifts rather than what drains. The mind, when left untrained, becomes a tyrant, but when disciplined, it becomes a wise and loyal servant. With time and consistent effort, you will notice subtle but powerful changes. You'll begin responding to challenges with calm instead of panic. You'll stop craving validation from others because you've found stability within. You'll realize that control over the mind is the foundation of control over your life. Not because the world has changed, but because your perception has. And perception, the Stoics taught, is everything. As you continue to master your mind, you begin to understand the immense power of focus. In a world that thrives on distraction, the ability to direct your attention is a superpower. Most people allow their minds to jump from one thought to another, reacting to every message, every noise, every emotion. They multitask endlessly, chasing productivity while actually accomplishing very little. But the Stoic path is different. It is about slowing down, narrowing your focus, and pouring your energy into what truly matters. When your mind is disciplined, your actions become intentional. You no longer scatter your energy in 10 directions. You channel it like a laser toward your goals, values, and purpose. This shift is life-changing. It means choosing long-term growth over short-term pleasure. It means embracing boredom as a space for reflection, not as something to escape. It means learning to say no, not just to others, but to your own impulses. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled one of the most powerful empires in history, wrote in his private notes about the importance of focusing only on what is essential, cutting off everything else. If someone with the weight of an empire on his shoulders could prioritize clarity and simplicity, so can we. When your mind is scattered, life feels overwhelming. But when your mind is centered, even the biggest challenges feel manageable. You begin to live with a sense of purpose, and that purpose gives every action, every decision, a deeper meaning. The chaos of the outside world no longer dictates your inner world, because you have learned to guard your attention like your most precious resource. And it is, because what you focus on shapes how you feel, how you act, and ultimately who you become. Mastering your mind is not a destination. It is a lifelong journey, a discipline that must be renewed daily. There will be moments when you stumble, when old habits return, when your thoughts pull you back into fear, doubt, or anger. But each time you notice it, and each time you choose awareness over reaction, you grow stronger. The Stoics didn't preach perfection, they preached progress. Epictetus taught that the key to freedom is in recognizing what is within your control and letting go of everything else. Your thoughts, your actions, your mindset, these are yours to command. And as you build this inner fortress, you begin to move through life with a calm, quiet strength that others can feel. You stop needing to prove yourself because you know who you are. You stop fearing uncertainty because you trust your ability to endure and adapt. And you stop chasing happiness because you found something deeper, peace. A peace that doesn't depend on circumstances but flows from within. That is the reward of mastering your mind. Not just success in the outer world, but freedom in the inner world. The kind of freedom that no one can take from you. So start where you are, with whatever challenges you're facing. Begin observing your thoughts, questioning your reactions, and making conscious choices. With every step forward, you reclaim a little more of your power. And in time, you'll realize that by mastering your mind, you have indeed mastered your life.